Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is DB333 and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, New Order Last Days of Europe as the Russian Federation. Last video, we really just started rebuilding the West and working on improving them. Yeah, that's about it. So we're gonna get working on wrapping up in the next episode or two, just because I'm not going to have much time to record much of anything else. And TNO Toolbox Theory is supposed to be dropping tomorrow. And so because of that, since I'm not going to have enough time, I want to at least get to a point where I can see a little bit of the rest of the content. A little bit, then just, you know, see a lot of this, but also just miss out on a huge chunk. Because I know this has fucking content for like 10 years or something. And we are, let's see, we're fucking 3 years in. About 2-3 years. Maybe 4. I think we were unified in 71, so that's when that started. Still, though. Still. Let's go ahead and reintroduce Russian. For decades, Muscovites have been forced to learn to speak the language of their former oppressors. The result of this is a clear language barrier that has resulted in a large divide between Muscovy and the Russian Federation. We do not expect to overcome this large language barrier anytime soon, but by reintroducing Russian as the official language of the region, we slowly begin to heal the cultural and linguistic divide done by the Germans. And that would work. In a country often viewed as incredibly impoverished, Russia has started to experience a genuine change of fate, what many economists have begun to call the miracle in the Volga. The Russian economy has begun to flourish due to many factors. For one, businesses have regained the access to the core Russian heartland, meaning many more customers and opportunities for expansion and development. Following the war, the Russian Federation turned the billions stored for the new armed forces into economic growth to develop and encourage new and old industries, coupled with a massive amount of infrastructure development. Particularly an example that demonstrates Russia's resolve into developing into a true superpower is its investments in advanced technologies. That example is the New Millennium program, which aims to turn the Russian Federation into a juggernaut of electronic development. Currently, the program is intended to develop very standardized systems and tech, up to 1 million by 1980, in various aspects of computer science programs. Let's see, the New Millennium is but one program. Other programs have targeted automobiles, heavy machinery, and consumer goods. These programs have been coupled with an aggressive infrastructure development, making travel of goods easier than any point in Eurasian history. Lots of good stuff, it looks like. And I dare say whatever features, it will be a bright one. I'm not going to read most of these focuses because, like I said, I usually would, but I got to rush through things right now. The effects from political concessions. Well, there we go. So we're reintroducing Russian. Drink some water real quick. Hydrating. Very nice. Ah, crap, my back. Introduce Russian. Now let's go ahead and promote Russian culture. If we want the people of Muscovy to fully embrace their Russian heritage, we must promote all aspects of Russian tradition culture, both new and old, throughout Muscovy. Whatever that be seen on television, heard on the radio, or surrounding them on the streets they walk on. The Muscovites will remember their roots. Given time, Muscovy will be blessed with cultural rebirth and be just as Russian as any other Russian citizen living within the Federation. There we go. You guys, I'll let you guys pause at home if you want to read this, just because like I said, I gotta fucking go. People of Muscovy discover and embrace their culture. Let's go. doing pretty well all around. We'll do that. Just build up infrastructure. So I don't know what else to do. I mean, I doubt we're going to be getting to any wars anytime soon. So we got time. Now we're going to have max infrastructure in all of our states coming up. Which is pretty nice. That's what you get when you don't have anything else to research or build. Which I'm looking forward to toolbox here for that, because it looks like there are going to be some neat new buildings that'll handle societal development and all that. Assuming it all works, this might be a worse drop in Cyberpunk. Or the GTA remaster for more relevant pop culture reference. Let's give a speech. Then let's go ahead and begin new local elections. With the Russian language on the rise in Muscovy and the smooth transition from an agricultural economy to an industrial economy, the people have begun to call for elections. For decades, the Muscovites have been deprived of choice in their own land. They couldn't elect anyone to represent them in any form of government, and made to be second-class citizens. Their enthusiasm for democracy is promising and shows the Federation that Western Russia is becoming more and more ready to rejoin the motherland, embrace its values of liberty and democracy. So, seats, support, stability, and social democrats will be put into power. Interesting. Same idea here. Russia is our only true home. Let's get some engineers, I don't know, get working on that early. And you get worked on that early. I'm just going to select stuff so I don't have to worry about research at this point. There we go, begin local elections. There's old Gorbachev, hey. How are you doing, comrade? Next, legacy of a united Russia. Actually, we'll go in and ask someone, looks like. The Baltic states viewed Tolsk Sea, a glorious motherland, was once united and strong under the mighty flag of Mother Russia, ready to face anything the world had to throw at it. Muscovy was where the story of Russia truly began, where Eastern Slavs rose from petty kingdoms to a global superpower. It's time to bring the Muscovite people back into the loving arms of Russia and truly reunite the people under the proud flag of the Russian Federation. Together forever, united and free. Hey, you guys know the deal, hopefully by now. From the beginnings, Dmitry and Sergei got to work on their first manifesto. Excellent. And, oh, I'm checking out. There we go. Legacy of a united Russia. And then now the phoenix rises. Like a burning phoenix, great Russia has risen from the ashes of great patriotic war. It's become a force to be reckoned with once more. With the lessons of Azars, a former union, the age of warlordism with us, the government will return to the glorious city of Moscow and lead our motherland to a glorious age of prosperity, freedom, and hope. Moska Sinami. So we got some stuff to core. Do that. That. And then we ran out of political power. Kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? And I think I will read this one, because it is a pretty relevant one. In the late night, workers at a lumber mill near Smolensk shared stories, drank, and celebrated their newfound freedoms. Constructed during the German occupation, the lumber mill was a typically quiet, cold place until the first Russian troops swept through the building during the war. One of the first things that changed was a flag, and now bright, cheery colors of Federation adorned the pole that sat outside. Now the workers weren't afraid not only look look at the flag they lived under, but also the stars that hung above them. Under the summer sun of Belgorod, a group of young students took up their stipends out to a freshly built commercial district. They wanted to flare up their clothing and even buy some makeup. Only after all the laughing and celebrating did they realize they had spent too much. Several the next day had to make a call home. Despite having to call home, none had to worry if they would see their families again. Moscow first reconstructed synagogue, a site no one inside would have believed only a year ago would ever happen. A public bar mitzvah was held. Not only did the fear of their entire culture being eradicated left their mind for a moment, but they could be happy for the future for the first time. Burley, good to see you, friend. How are you doing? I'm alright, not bad, myself, personally. Thanks for asking. Among the tears and the laughter that followed, they danced deep into the night, knowing this was but the first of many nights. Throughout the massive Motherland, the people celebrated, danced, and sang songs many thought were lost. The place typically thought of as a cold and unforgiving place, the people of the Federation found warmth and passion they now had in freedom. The torch of liberty is thought of the Motherland. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get extra political power, because it looks like we gotta core up more stuff. And then, I'm alright at work wishing I was home. I get that. I get that. So we got all this. We got the Russian names back, which is pretty cool. It's very fun stuff. I like it. Alright, and I'll read this one, and then we really gotta get rushing through the rest of these. Shukshin had never seen Moscow in person before the Germans trampled all over it. However, since the victory against the German threat, he traveled to the city frequently. On his first trip there, the town was, for the most part, rubble, and many of the buildings that remained were nearly unrecognizable from a Russian eye. This was not to be the case. The capital of Motherland was to be rebuilt and serve as the binding knot of Eastern Europe. So since day one of the official liberation, workers, engineers, and designers went about restoring the city, clearing out rubbles, and reconstructing cultural locations as close as possible to how things were in 1940. For the better part of a year, what seemed to be most of Moscow was under excellent condition. In addition to building housing, roads, hospitals, schools, and airports, work also made Moscow more than just Russia's largest city. Plans for Moscow's metro system, long abandoned, have been revived with modern technology and engineering. Moscow will have a metro system that will make their opposites New York and Tokyo blush. The Kremlin will be restored, improved upon, and become a true center of the Russian president. Museums, art galleries, theaters, both film and performance, and stadiums for whatever sports the people of Moscow want to play. Most crucially, we've built the presidential palace and legislation buildings, both in Russian neoclassical style. Within a decade's time, Moscow will be a completely new city, and none in the world shall ever rival her. Moscow's development will continue for a while, but foundations have been set, and our government can finally return to the ancient center of our motherland. Moscow, forever our home. Let's go. Look at that. That is nice. Okay, so what do we do yet? Let's do Memories Not Yet Forgotten, because this seems like it's going to be an interesting one. For decades, the Germans have not only murdered and oppressed our people, but have also attempted to colonize their lands. While the German plan also was not completely successful in the East, there are several regions in Eastern Europe that now have a German majority. We haven't forgotten where the settlers came from, how they arrived in the East, or who had previously lived on the lands we occupy. It's time to determine the fate of the German settlers of Eastern Europe. Well, this will be interesting. So we got a new division of tanks. Your interdiction. Let's do, I don't know, light aircraft? Get working on that at a time. Go ahead, give me some more political concessions. I'll core up Yaroslavl, why not? Might not be the most populous area to start with, but we'll go with it. Same idea here. I honestly just might keep this open and then just same idea here. Pause if you want to read. And then yeah. Time heals our sorrows. Let's go and do the Great Exodus. Germans are not likely to be liked by the native Eastern Europeans, to say the least. Petrograd and Volgograd to Black Sea, horrifying news of lynching and murders against German settlers have reached the President's ears. Despite the Federation being triumphant in the war against the Reich, we are struggling to stop the mass lynchings. If we want to ensure the safety of these settlers from the wrath of liberated Eastern Europe, we should consider the possibility of sending the settlers back to Germany for their own safety. You got a point. Alright, we're just doing stuff so I don't have to worry about research. Because we are essentially in the end game at this point. Yeah. Yeah. Great Exodus. Three, two, one. What do I do now? I don't know, buddy. It's not my problem. And then, endgame, you say, just make sure you go for the head. True. True. That is a good point. That is a very, very good point. Don't want to pull a Thor. You do not want to pull a Thor. Although the situation between the Federation and the settlers remains difficult at best, there exists ample opportunities for the Federation. Many Germans in the regions have already begun to collaborate with various military administrations, presiding over German majority zones, assisting in maintaining order, and preventing settler rebellion. While a sizable portion of our population wants nothing more to see the settlers either killed or sent back to Germany, collaborators have proposed we establish collaboration as governments that ensure stability and serve the needs of the Federation. There exist several significant objections to these proposals, but perhaps it would be more effective to create these friendly governments than deporting millions of settlers back to Germany. Yeah, I don't know if I told you what's going on, Burley. There's a new update for the deal for this mod tomorrow. And so I'm trying to just finish up this series, and I usually like to read through all the events and all that, but I kind of want to see all the content that this little mod has going for it first. And so I'm kind of rushing through it. Turtle! Buongiorno, mon ami. How go things? That was Italian, not French, but... well, it was a weird mix of Italian and French. It's the thought that counts, methinks. Waiting for the teacher to show up. Shit! Still? Damn. I say still, I don't know if that was a issue before. Let's go ahead. Let's integrate Smolensk. Okay, so we got a couple options, it looks like. The fate of St. Petersburg. Petrograd was once the capital of the Russian Empire and bears the name of Russia's greatest Tsar. Under the Soviet Union, it was known as the home of revolution where the October Revolution took place. These days, however, the city was primarily populated by German settlers who moved there after the city had been destroyed after the siege of Leningrad and rebuilt by slave hands. What should be done with the city? Should we continue to allow the German settlers to live in Petrograd, or should we make attempts to Russify this once great city? I think St. Petersburg will be Russian once again. A fate of a Volgastadt. Like the other German majority zones of Eastern Europe, the Volga region, while still receiving an influx of settlers, are the descendants of Germans who were invited to settle the land during the Age of the Tsars. Regardless, the Volga region was subject to Nazi ideology for decades under German rule, and while the Volga Germans are far more liberal than the fatherland, still thousands of sympathetic Hitlerites living in the Volga. This begs the question, should the Federation honor the will of the former Tsars of Russia and allow Volga Germans to remain where they are and establish a friendly government? Should we send them to Germany where we at least won't have to deal with Nazi sympathizers? Let's integrate the Volga as an autonomous republic. I think that's a pretty fair compromise. And then Gotenland. Got a test coming up in 5 minutes. Shit, man. Feeling good about it? Okay, that's better. That's good to hear. Gotenland holds the second largest concentration of German settlers in all of Eastern Europe, settling around the Dnieper River. Germans sitting on one of the most important river basins in Eastern Europe, flows through several nations, including Russia proper. Such a strategically important region settled by Germans, should we allow a friendly government in the region, or should we allow the Ukrainians to reclaim their ancestral land? I think Gotenland must be Ukrainian once more. And of course, we still, in true Russian fashion, we still hold on to Crimea. Of course. The fate of Viborg. Okay, global intervention. Wait, no. Fuck. No! Fuck! We had to give it back to... Wait, fuck. Go back. Go back. Oh, dear. This is unfortunate. Bad ending. True. God damn it. Let's do Dawn in Europe. European continents changed in the last decade. The Hermit state of Burgundy solidified their control over France. What their plans are for the world, only God is unfortunate enough to know. Germany, although being back, still super holds influence in both continental and global influence. The East rose a new hope in the form of Russian Federation. Hailing from the vast plains of Siberia, the Federation united all Russians, successfully liberated the people of Eastern Europe from servitude to their former masters. The new map of Eastern Europe are drawn, we can now step forward and move our attention eastwards to Europe. The people of Europe yearn for freedom, and the Federation will do anything in its power to ensure the continent is liberated from the rule of tyrants. So I think this might open up our new tree, which I'm fucking horrified of because I don't have time for anything else. Pause. And then maybe one day we'll treat each other as brothers. The fate of Viborg. I'm a little curious about that. They are a pact observer. The city of Vyborg was won by the Soviet Union back in 1940 when the Red Army troops triumphed over the Finnish troops. Although the city was eventually retaken by the Finnish during the Great Patriotic War, many of our generals believe that with Petrograd back in the hands of the Russian Federation, we should put some distance between Finland and Petrograd and retake what's rightfully ours. You know what? Part of it's because I keep joking about it, but I think we'll just let Viipuri belong to Finland. And it looks like we can start deporting, dealing with the fate of settlers. For decades, the Germans have exploited our motherland, displacing our people and colonizing parts of our homeland. The reality is no more. Eastern Europe belongs to the Federation now and forever. And do we not have a... Okay, let's get working on rebuilding Caucasia, because I'm most interested in that. Caucasia, however you say it. Caucasia has been devastated from decades of occupation and recent Eastern European conflict. With peace returning to Eastern Europe, it's time to commence reconstruction of this region, restore this proud land back to its former glory. Dawn in Eurasia, pause to read. To a hopeful future. Uh-oh! Okay, so I wasn't supposed to do that first. Fuck. Okay, we're going back. God damn it. I thought it was just gonna add a new focus tree, but nope. Evidently, no. That feels bad, man. Tense coexistence. Well. Okay, the Vogelstadt. Now I'll give myself some political power. Just so I can start doing some of these. I wonder... Here we go. Next, the administration of Caucasia was devastated as the all-Russian army advanced through the plains of northern Caucasia. While the Reconstruction government under Mikhail Bagadanov has managed to maintain his authority, it's become clear that the new government needs to be built from the ground up before local warlords that have infested Caucasia become too powerful for our military to deal with. Fair enough. We'll go with it. Why not? Yeah, Viipuri belongs to Finland still. You're welcome, Diablo. I didn't beat your guys' ass again. Pause to read. There are no people too broken to help. That's a nice thought. Let's repair oil fields. Since it's got caught, discovery. What the fuck was that? What's up, bitch tits? How you doing? Since discovery, vast oil fields of the Caucasus have served as the economic bedrock of the region. During our campaign, the Nazi evacuation of the region, oil wells and refineries were destroyed by the thousands. The economy of the Caucasian recovery zone is to recover in any meaningful capacity. It's imperative we rebuild the oil fields, begin the slow economic recovery of a sacred nation. Or Scar Nation, whatever it was. I'm too tired to read. That's a good place to leave it off on the YouTube for the YouTube people. So, to all of you, I'll see you around next time, and I wish you well. Goodbye.